What if I told you the most unbelievable rescue ever witnessed in a hospital didn't start with an ambulance or a paramedic, but with a dog? St. Helena Medical Center. Monday morning, phones ringing, code calls echoing overhead, nurses in scrubs rushing patients down polished corridors, doctors shouting orders through the chaos. That IT was loud. It was chaotic. It was routine. To the staff here, this was just another start to another busy week. Nurse Lena Morris had just clocked in, 28 years old, confident but not hardened. She had seen her share of emergencies, but still felt every one of them. She brushed a strand of hair back, straightened her ID badge, and muttered quietly, "Here we go again." Little did she know, this morning would change her life, and everyone else's, because at exactly 9:07 a.m., the automatic glass doors to the ER slid open with a hiss. At first, nobody noticed, but then someone gasped, and the entire hospital froze. A German shepherd stepped inside, tall, lean, coat matted with mud, streaked with blood, but that wasn't the shocking part. Strapped across his back with torn fabric and rope was a young girl, unconscious, pale, limp, her hair tangled, her arms dangling lifelessly. For a moment, the room became utterly silent. Patients, doctors, nurses, all staring in disbelief. The shepherd's nails clicked steadily on the tile. His gaze sharp, not wild, not panicked, focused, determined that he wasn't wandering. He wasn't lost, that he was delivering her. Lena moved first, dropping her coffee, sprinting forward. As she approached, the dog lowered his head. A low growl rumbled in his chest. Not a threat, that a warning. He was afraid she might take the girl away. Lena slowed, raised her hands. Her voice softened. "It's okay. I'm here to help. I promise." The shepherd studied her, ears flicking, tail twitching once. Then, slowly, he stepped back. That IT was enough. Lena knelt, lifted the girl carefully into her arms. Her body was frighteningly light, her breathing shallow. "Pediatric emergency," she shouted. "Trauma bay now." The ER burst into chaos. Doctors rushed. Stretchers rolled. Gloves snapped. Machines powered on. The girl was swept into trauma room 3. The shepherd stayed behind, still, silent, watching. That he didn't run. He didn't collapse. That he waited. Inside trauma room 3, the air turned electric. Dr. Patel, the lead physician, snapped orders. "She's hypothermic. Heart rate unstable. BP's dropping. Get warming blankets, now." Hands moved with machine-like speed. Electrodes pressed to her chest. IVs threading into tiny veins. Oxygen masks strapped down. The beeping of monitors filled the room. Outside, the shepherd paced, his nails scratching the floor. Every time the door opened, he tried to follow. Security blocked him. He didn't bark. He didn't fight. He just waited. Finally, a nurse whispered, "Let him in. He's not leaving without her." The doors opened. The shepherd walked inside, straight to the gurney. He sat down. Didn't move, didn't make a sound. And somehow, everyone in the room accepted it. The girl, unidentified, no ID, no family there, was now Jane Doe. But to the dog, she wasn't nameless. She was his, and he wasn't leaving. Hours later, as the girl fought for life, hospital security reviewed footage. The grainy video showed the shepherd emerging from the forest behind the hospital, carrying her, step by step, low to the ground, but steady. He paused at the sliding doors, waited just long enough for them to open, then walked straight inside. No hesitation, no confusion. He knew exactly where to go. Detective Ben Carter arrived that afternoon. Calm, measured, with instincts sharpened by years of cases. He watched the footage silently, arms folded. Finally, he muttered. He came from the forest. That's county land. Trails, trees, nothing else for miles. He looked out the window toward the woods. This isn't a stray. He led her here, for a reason. By 3 p.m., a search team was ready. Police, AK, 9 unit. Ranger Miles Cooper, a veteran tracker, and the shepherd, still guarding the girl's bedside. When the team gathered at the ER doors, the shepherd lifted his head. His ears twitched. His eyes locked on them. Ranger Cooper knelt. "You know the way back, don't you, boy?" The shepherd didn't need a leash. He simply stood, walked to the door, and looked back once they as if to say, "Follow me." What the search team found in those woods will leave you speechless, and the truth Sophie finally revealed would shake everyone to their core. And if you believe Max is already a hero, drop it in the comments and subscribe for more stories like this. When a battered German Shepherd led police deep into the woods, they never expected what they would find. Max, the dog, led them through mud, roots, and twisting trails that he never paused, never strayed. The forest grew darker, branches clawing overhead, the air heavy with silence. After nearly an hour, he stopped. There, under a canopy of brush, a makeshift camp, a torn tarp, scorched firewood, food wrappers, and something worse, a blood-stained cloth, a small shoe. Someone whispered, "She was here." And she wasn't alone. Back at the hospital, Sophie stirred for the first time. Her eyelids fluttered. A weak gasp escaped her lips. Max was at her side instantly, pressing his snout to her hand. Her voice cracked in a whisper. "Max." The room froze. She was awake, doctor. Eliza Monroe, calm and gentle, sat beside her. "Sophie," she said softly, "do you feel strong enough to tell me what happened?" Clutching Max's fur, Sophie began. "There was a man, his name was Alan. He used to come to the neighbor's house. He waved at me. He wasn't a stranger." Her lips trembled. "One day, Max and I were in the yard. He said Mom needed me, that there was an emergency. I believed him, but he didn't take me to her. He drove for hours. When I woke up, we were in the woods." Her eyes glazed, her voice dropping to a whisper. "He said we were safer there, that I didn't need my mom anymore. Just him." She clenched Max's fur tighter. "When I asked to go home, he screamed. He hit me. Max tried to stop him. He kicked Max. Then, I don't remember." Tears welled in her eyes. "I thought I was going to die out there. But Max never left. Even when I couldn't move. Even when I passed out. He stayed. He brought me home." With Sophie's testimony and Max's trail, police identified the abductor. Alan Price, a former handyman in her neighborhood. 2 days later, he was found pacing outside a gas station, nervous, talking to himself that he didn't resist arrest. Inside his backpack, Sophie's belongings, a bracelet, a sketchbook, snacks unopened. "It wasn't like that," he muttered. But nobody cared. At the hospital, Sophie had grown stronger. The day her mother arrived, the air itself seemed to change. Mara Whitfield stepped into the pediatric wing. Her face hollow, her body shaking from sleepless nights. The moment she saw Sophie, her knees gave out. "Oh my God, my baby," she sobbed, collapsing beside her bed. "I thought I'd never see you again." Sophie reached out with trembling arms. "Mom." They held each other, weeping, and then Mara turned to Max. She placed her hand gently on his head. "You saved her. You brought her back to me." Max stood still, quiet, loyal. Days later, Sophie was strong enough to leave. She walked out of the hospital, her mother at her side, Max close behind. At the top of the steps, Sophie knelt, wrapped her arms around his neck, and whispered, "You brought me home." Together, mother, daughter, and dog, they walked into the sunlight. Not just survivors, but a family, whole again. Max didn't just save Sophie's life. He saved her future. If you believe dogs truly are heroes, type Hero Max in the comments. Subscribe now for more powerful, true, and inspired stories. Because sometimes, the greatest rescues come from where you least expect them.